An evil government agency is seeking out individuals with mutant abilities, including a young woman who possesses special powers. But when an even more dangerous serial killer shows up, both agents and mutants have to rethink where their loyalties lie. This is the story of Enhanced, which is the continuation of the 2017 movie Kill Order. Character intro. The screen slowly lights up to reveal a vibrant town at night. It's like a massive maze of buildings and streets, each hiding secrets in the shadows. The frame zooms in on a single street, where a lone figure emerges from the darkness. Say hello to George Shepard, a tough government agent on a mission that's about to take him on a wild journey through danger. The city holds its breath as George prowls through the empty streets. The only sounds are the distant buzz of streetlights and the faint rustle of trash in the back streets. It feels like a scene from a spy movie, where danger can be found around every corner, and trust is as rare as a sunny day in winter. The tension in the air is audible, like a tightly wound spring ready to snap. With each step, George's conviction grows stronger. He is not just strolling around, he is on a mission that has the potential to change everything. This is no ordinary assignment. Rather, it's a high-stakes game in which a single mistake could spell disaster. As George gets closer to his target, you can see the grit etched on his face. Like a bulldog with a bone, he is staunch and stubborn. In the background, we catch a glimpse of the bigger picture. The government's search for genetically enhanced individuals considered too dangerous to roam freely. It resembles a sequence from a comic book in which superpowers and government secrets collide. George's mission is just a small part of a much larger puzzle, but as he moves deeper into the shadows, he begins to doubt everything he thought he knew. Is he the hero of this story, or is he just a pawn in a bigger game? As the tension builds and the stakes rise, George finds himself in a race against time. It's like a thrilling roller coaster ride with unexpected twists and turns that will take your breath away. But George doesn't mind getting his hands dirty when it comes to taking on a new challenge. With his sharp mind and strong will, he's prepared to face whatever comes his way. Joseph's arrest. George's pursuit gets more intense with each passing moment. He and his team close in on their target. Joseph, a very modest janitor with a nasty secret. It appears that Joseph is not your typical janitor. He's got powers that make him a strong rival for George and his team. As they move in to catch him, Joseph's evasion tactics come into play. He dodges their every move with the effortless grace of a dancer. His higher-level abilities are on full display, showcasing the immense challenge posed to the government agents. In order to capture their missing target, George and his group are forced to adapt and use specialized tools and strategies. However, Joseph is a slippery fish who always thinks one step ahead of them, so he's not someone to easily capture. Despite the odds stacked against them, George remains determined. He knows the seriousness of their mission and the importance of capturing Joseph before he can cause any more harm. The stakes are higher, and the tension rises with every second that goes by. And George is not ready to back down from his mission. He's a seasoned veteran with plenty of experience under his belt. As he squares off against Joseph, he knows that failure is not an option. He moves forward with a steely resolve, wanting to bring Joseph to justice and put an end to his reign of terror. At the peak of the conflict, George's training and expertise shine through. With a combination of skill, cunning, and sheer determination, he and his team finally manage to corner Joseph, bringing him to his knees. They all breathe a collective sigh of relief as the threat is neutralized, at least for now. But the victory is short-lived. As George looks into Joseph's eyes, he knows that this is just the beginning. There are more like him out there, more enhanced individuals with powers beyond imagination. And George is going to do whatever it takes to stop them. With Joseph safely in custody, George and his team prepare for the next phase of their mission. But they have no idea that the real battle is about to get started. Captain Williams' shocking revelation. While George and his group apprehend Joseph, they are called to a conference with Captain Williams, the mysterious head of the government initiative charged with locating and apprehending the wrongdoers. The scene changes to a poorly lit conference room with Williams at the head of the table, commanding the attention of everyone around him. The introduction to Captain Williams is nothing short of terrifying. His intense stare and severe manner convey the gravity of their mission. His voice is heavy with authority as he speaks to the group, reminding them of their enormous responsibility with every word. Williams wastes no time in getting down to business. He describes the real threat posed by some mysterious people, characterizing them as dangerous outliers who pose a significant risk to society. His words are laced with urgency, a strong signal of what's on the line. But it's not just the threat of these unknown individuals that weighs heavily on Williams' mind. There's something more sinister lurking beneath the surface, something that hints at a deeper conspiracy at play. As he speaks, he drops subtle hints about an unidentified person committing murders within the city, a shadowy figure whose motives remain hidden in mystery. A confrontation that looks to be nothing short of spectacular is being set up by the obvious foreshadowing. There's no doubt that George and his group are feeling uncomfortable as a result of what Williams has said. The hunt for Joseph was just the beginning, and now they find themselves caught up in a much bigger conflict, one that has the potential to wipe them all out. But despite the uncertainty that lies ahead, George remains firm. He knows that the road ahead will be fraught with danger, but he's brave enough to see it through to the end. With Captain Williams at the helm, they set out to confront the looming threat head-on, ready to face whatever challenges come their way. George and his team, led by Captain Williams, are about to embark on a journey that will push them to their limits and test the foundations of who they are. As the search for the mysterious individual intensifies, the stage is set for a confrontation that will leave no one safe. Anna's struggle. As the story progresses, we are introduced to Anna, a young woman with extraordinary skills and a strong desire for freedom. The camera pans to reveal Anna standing in an ordinary car garage, blending into the commotion of everyday life. However, there is a hidden agenda that lies behind her appearance, one that has the potential to shatter her world. Despite her unusual circumstances, Anna manages to blend in with her surroundings in a beautiful way. We see her doing her regular job, chatting with her co-workers, and working hard at her tasks. Still, there's a sadness that lingers in her eyes, a desire for something outside the protective glare of the government. We get to see a glimpse of Anna's true nature when she has an unexpected meeting with her friend and fellow mechanic Danny. Her instinct forces her to step in and use her powers to protect Danny as she watches him being beaten by a group of thugs. She wants to help, but she hesitates because she's worried about drawing attention to herself. As Anna struggles with her emotions and tries to reconcile her desire for freedom with the harsh reality of her situation, the tension in the room grows. With each passing moment, the risk of being caught increases, casting a shadow over her every action. Meanwhile, the pressure to find her quickly grows to an almost intolerable level as George's team gets closer. Despite the risks that lie ahead of her, Anna refuses to lose hope. When she realizes that Danny's life is in danger, she makes the audacious decision to step in and use her abilities to stop his attackers and save his life. For Anna, it's a moment of victory and a window into the courage and strength she possesses. As she flees into the night, pursued by George and his team, the tension escalates to a feverish pitch. Every shadow appears to hold a potential threat, and every sound is a reminder of danger. However, fear hasn't stopped Anna from moving forward because of her will to overcome all sorts of obstacles and become free. In the course of the chase, we witness Anna's resilience being put to the test. But it's a losing battle, and every second that goes by, the noose closes around her throat. Fortunately, Anna is not alone in her struggle. Throughout her journey, she meets allies who are willing to risk everything to help her escape. Their mutual desire for independence brings them together to form an unplanned family. And as they face George and his group, the scene is set for a pivotal exchange that will decide everyone's fate. Face-off. The tension reaches its pinnacle as George's team closes in on Anna's whereabouts, the pursuit escalating with each passing moment. The scene transitions to a secluded farm, where Anna seeks sanctuary in the darkness, her heart pounding with the weight of imminent danger. As she takes cover, her senses are heightened, and the sound of approaching footsteps grows louder, indicating the arrival of her pursuers. However, Anna is not one to surrender without a fight. She uses her abilities to avoid being captured, employing every strategy at her disposal to outsmart her opponents. As George and his team get closer, She transforms into a phantom in the night, slipping through their grasp like fine sand. With each narrow escape, she establishes herself as a dominant presence, a woman on a mission to regain her freedom at any cost. But George isn't easy to convince. As he interrogates Anna, delving into her actions and motivations, the conflicting perspectives on her character come to light. To him, she is merely a dangerous fugitive, a menace to society that must be restrained. Anna, on the other hand, sees herself as a survivor, a woman who has been tested to her limits and will stop at nothing to break free from the chains that bind her. Every word they exchange is a skirmish in a fierce battle of wills. Their confrontation is tense, but as the reality slowly becomes apparent, a hint of comprehension starts to surface between them. George starts to perceive Anna not as a threat, but as a victim of circumstance, a woman caught in the crossfire of uncontrollable forces. As the scene progresses, we witness the complex web of feelings that surround Anna and George, their fates entwined in ways they never would have predicted. Coming together. Just as George and Anna's confrontation is reaching its breaking point, an unexpected intervention upends their dynamic. David, a mysterious individual with his own motives and a power that rivals Anna's, enters the scene. His sudden arrival disrupts George's carefully designed strategy, compelling him to reevaluate everything he believed to be true. There is something dangerous and fascinating about David that draws you in. As he enters the conflict, the balance of power shifts, leaving George and Anna perplexed by the unexpected turn of events. Despite their initial distrust, they soon realize that they share a common rival, a corrupt government that seeks to manipulate and exploit them at every opportunity. The past of Anna reveals a world of hidden secrets and dishonesty, shedding light on the government's manipulation and exploitation of people with stronger skills. George starts to see the reality behind the mask as she tells him about her experiences, which really disturbs him. The realization of the government's true agenda prompts a shift in George's loyalty. No longer satisfied with blindly following orders, he begins to question his role in the larger scheme of things, pondering whether he has been fighting on the wrong side all along. He is drawn to Anna and David as he struggles with this newfound understanding, and they end up forming an unlikely alliance out of need and a mutual mistrust of their oppressors. But the road ahead is dangerous, and if these three want to succeed, they have to make their way through a maze of barriers and enemies. With each step, they inch closer to uncovering the government's most sinister secrets, risking everything in their pursuit of justice and a free society. George, Anna, and David find themselves involved in a survival struggle unlike anything they have ever experienced as the tension rises and their lives become more and more at risk. They are aware that many people's lives are at stake, including their own, but they are ready to face any obstacles with their newly formed alliance and strong will. As the scene fades to darkness, we are left on the edge of our seats, waiting for the next installment in this epic tale of betrayal, redemption, and the struggle for liberty. And as George, Anna, and David prepare to embark on the journey of a lifetime, they understand that the road ahead will be difficult and dangerous, but they also recognize that their strength lies in their unity, surpassing anything they could achieve individually, exposing the lies. In the final moments of the movie, a series of shocking revelations and betrayals completely shake up our characters' alliances. It all starts with Eli, a former insider with connections to the government's secret operations, who spills the beans about David's true nature and purpose. This revelation gives the conflict an entirely new level of complexity. Eli's disclosure is a major turning point that deeply unsettles George, Anna, and David. Suddenly, the lines between friend and enemy become blurry, leaving our main characters confused as they try to make sense of this new information. David, who was once seen as an ally, is now revealed to be just a pawn in a much bigger scheme controlled by forces beyond his control. When George is confronted with this newly acquired information, he makes a fateful decision to inform headquarters about the threat posed by David. Unfortunately, this choice leads to his imprisonment and betrayal by none other than Captain Williams himself. The scene is tense as George confronts his former mentor, the person he used to trust completely. Eventually, as Captain Williams locks him up, George realizes the true extent of the government's corruption and manipulation. Meanwhile, Anna emerges as a deadly opponent to David, driven by her unwavering determination to seek justice for herself and others like her. With each passing moment, her strength grows, and she prepares to face the people that want to destroy her. The stage is set for the ultimate showdown, a final clash that will define the fate of our characters and the world they live in. While George remains imprisoned, Anna and David get ready for battle, their paths converging once again in a collision of power and skill. But as the pressure builds and the stakes increase, our heroes are up against an opponent they have never faced before. David, fueled by a desire for revenge and redemption, is more determined than ever to achieve his goals, even if it means sacrificing everything. With the fate of the world hanging in the balance, our characters are about to embark on the most dangerous journey of their lives. It will test their strength, resilience, and essence. And as they get ready to meet their final fate, they are aware that the decisions they make in the next few seconds will permanently alter the course of history. Will George escape and join forces with Anna and David? Will Anna's courage be enough to defeat David once and for all? And what role will Captain Williams play in the final showdown? Final showdown. The simmering conflict reaches its boiling point as David's relentless pursuit of Anna and George escalates to a heart-stopping climax. The action moves quickly as our heroes become enmeshed in a deadly game of cat and mouse, with every second of the sequence carrying a high risk of death. David, fueled by a burning desire for vengeance and by the power he has absorbed from his fellow friends, is more determined than ever to achieve his goals. His every move is deliberate, bringing him closer to his prey. The atmosphere is electric with anticipation as he gets closer to Anna and George, preparing them for an epic battle. But George is not one to go down without a fight. With a sudden conviction burning in his heart, he launches a desperate attempt to stop David and save Anna from certain doom. Everything he does is evidence of his unwavering commitment to protecting the people he cares about, no matter the cost. With our hearts racing with excitement as we watch George and David square off in a struggle of wills and powers, we are drawn into the center of the conflict as it plays out. Each blow is like a thunderclap, reverberating through the air with the force of a hurricane. But despite the odds stacked against him, George refuses to back down. And then, in a moment of triumph, Anna emerges victorious over David, her triumph signifying her reclamation of agency and freedom from oppression. It's a moment of catharsis for our protagonists, a glimmer of hope in a world filled with darkness and despair. But the battle is far from over. As the dust settles and the smoke clears, our protagonists find themselves facing a new set of challenges. Their journey is far from finished, but with each passing moment, they grow stronger, their bonds forged in the fires of adversity. And as they set out on the next chapter of their adventure, they do so with heads held high and hearts full of hope, knowing that no matter what lies ahead, they will face it together as a united front against the forces of darkness. Conclusion and quick recap. Our main characters, George and Anna, have emerged victorious over their rival David, and this represents their success and the strength of the human spirit. They are now free from oppression and can shape their own future. However, there is still a sense of dissatisfaction and the possibility of new enemies returning. Despite this, there is hope for a better future where freedom and justice prevail. The story of Enhanced goes into power, identity, and the fight for freedom, with the characters battling their own inner demons and facing tough enemies. It is a story about resilience and the strength of the human spirit. The theme of freedom holds value, as the characters refuse to be controlled by oppressive forces. As the credits roll and the screen fades to black, one thing is clear: the story might not be over. With David's return on the horizon and the Enhanced community ready to forge a new path, the stage is set for a thrilling continuation of the saga. Will our heroes rise to the challenges ahead? Will they overcome the obstacles in their way? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure: the best is yet to come.